Alright boys, CVC is going to be upon us very, very shortly. It's a non-personal reward CVC, and you know what that means, man. It means that Plarium are going to do everything they can to make the progressive shard pulling events during this non-personal reward CVC as sweaty and as tempting as possible, especially given that we are all still waiting for the Leo Path event. This ever-elusive Leonardo Path event. To be honest, I've already covered this in a previous video. I expect, if we just check on the calendar here, on the Plarium Play calendar, I totally imagine that this is going to drop on the 11th, on the Tuesday. This is my estimation. This is when Siege mode starts, so there's no CVC going on. There's no 2 excellent shards going on. It's optimally expensive for Plarium to go ahead and drop the Leonardo Path event on the Tuesday, the 11th. Just a prediction. No insider knowledge, right? This is all just to say, not much longer to wait for Leonardo. Given that the Turtles event ends on November 14th, the 11th is like a grand finale event for me, is the most likely time for the Leonardo Path to drop, and it's probably going to cost a boatload of shards, which again is why Plarium have gone mental with the progressive chance events. They're going to be going live tomorrow during the CVC, man. Before we get to those, if you're looking to create a new raid account, make sure to get that done right now by using the beginner promo link that's down below this video, man, for a double legendary start and 3 free epic champions too as you level up your account, man. It's the best beginner promo link going, the best possible way to start off a new raid account in 2025, man. Just click on that link down below at the top of the description box and create your new account using that link for all of the free stuff that you see on screen right now. Okay, man, the champions that we are looking at this Tuesday, November 4th, when CVC begins, non-personal reward CVC again, so not a lot of people want to go too mental on non-personal reward CVCs. They're planning to launch a progressive chance event, giving you a 15x chance to summon champions of your choice from the selected pool, Ancient Primal, Shard, Void Shards, blah, 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 blah. Who the hell pulls voids during the CVC, man? Unless you're right on the button in terms of Shard Mercy for any of these Shard types, you are immediately going to be skipping this event kind of no matter what. Unless you've already grabbed Leonardo through some other means, the wait is almost over, right? And so the bait here has got to be pretty strong. And it is, to be honest, a champion that I pulled very, very recently on my account, if you missed the recent shard pulling video, is of course the Newt. And so for me, the Newt, if you don't have Newt on your account, this is probably the guy you're going for from the blue shards. So again, this is if you're like 180 ancient shards or something without hitting on a single legendary champion, and you're sitting on like 120 ancient shards or something, okay, fair enough. Fair enough, man. You could put like 30 or 40 ancients and probably hit legendary in those 30 or 40 ancients to get that 15x chance at hitting a Newt. That's the kind of scenario we're talking about, right? You're very, very close to Shard Mercy on a certain shard type, and hopefully you can keep a track of that on your account. And you've got that shard type in abundance on your account, so you can afford to pull, right? Newt is unbelievable. I pulled this guy just the other day, so I'm very, very happy about that. He's currently farming up his masteries in Minotaur right now, actually, as we speak, in background battles, you know what I'm saying? So he's got a triple hit to A1, each with a 100% chance of either decreasing target's 10 meter, or if the target is immune to 10 meter decrease, then you get a chance to freeze instead, which is great for hard mode Fire Knight. Great stuff. Brings an attack all enemies 310 cooldown, A2 with a 100% land decrease attack and weaken debuff on all enemies. Also plays counter attack buff on your Newt for a couple turns as well, so great premium debuffs to bring along. Good stuff. He also brings, of course, the illustrious triple hitter A3. Each hit decreasing target's 10 meter by 3%, stacking up to 30, and each hit also heals this champion, and damages based on enemy max HP and defense, right? Defense-based nuka, nice and tanky, massive boss killer damage with this A3 skill. Absolutely delicious stuff. And obviously cannot wait to build this guy out on my own account. Now, when it comes to the, when it comes to the voids, it's really, man, just depends what you're looking for, what the best pick is here. Anon the Shining, God in PvP. I actually put, oh god, what the hell am I doing with my camera? There we go. We had some face action going there for a second for Anon, appreciating that beautiful red beard that he's got. I made the grave mistake of disrespecting this guy in a past progressive chance video. You guys called me out in the comments, and you were totally right, because like a week later, I faced this guy in live arena. I got, man, my cheeks got clapped. It was brutal. It was non-PG. I can't even tell you what happened in a YouTube video, else this video will be demonetized, man. That's how bad it was, okay? So Anon the Shining hits like a bloody truck. It brings like a big old attack all enemies, ignores increased defense, strength, and shield buffs, all of that, blah, blah, blah. If this attack kills at least one enemy, decrease the tenure of all enemies by 50%. This thing smacks like a truck, and I believe he activates, okay, yeah, so on his passive, this is what really makes him painful as hell. On his passive, has the active effect of prevent this champion's death and keep them alive on 1 HP when hit by a fatal hit. Okay, so he doesn't give a damn if your team goes first in live arena. In fact, he almost wants you to try. Place the stone skin buff on them for 1 turn, then instantly activate that A3 skill. That big attack all enemies smack, bro. This guy is deadly as hell in live arena and is some pretty devastating. Also brings in A2, that's a double hit, a smack, ignores a whole bunch of target's defense and grants an extra turn if this attack kills an enemy. Yeah, he's just a cross little monster, dude. He's a little villain. But also on this Void Shard list is, of course, the Acrizia, the ultimate enemy max HP damage dealer champion. Look at these reviews, bro. Oh my god, dude, she's an absolute savage. Even at A1 deals damage based on enemy max HP and plus a decreased defense. I mean, just unbelievable. The damage of this skill increases by 10% every time this A1 is used, stacking up to 100% on an enemy max HP spec. It's just an absolute joke, Acrizia is one of those that once you've got an Acrizia built on your account, you seldom replace her in any of your teams in the long term. She's always going to feature. She's just that kind of gal. Double hitter, a 2 skill, 3 turn cooldown, attacks all enemies 2 times. Again, shield buff on herself. Damage is based on enemy max HP. Nuts. And then she brings a double hit at A3. Also 3 turn cooldown. Chance of stealing target's 10 meter before attacking, which is crazy. And then again, enemy max HP. So yeah, not much more to say about Acrizia. What is this? This is actually just a massive dwarf event or something. We've got Acrizia, Tormund, and the Newt all in the same pool here, all on the same day. Tormund the Cold, obviously, again, live arena option can throw a huge spanner in the works. I feel like in my live arena push, I saw a lot less of Tormund the Cold than I was perhaps expecting. I'm really, really glad that I did nothing but blast Live Arena for a month, actually, so that I can actually speak to Live Arena a little bit now. I didn't see much of Tormund the Cold. He's a great champion with a very, very powerful passive that has a chance to freeze enemies anytime they receive buffs, which is pretty cool. He also revives himself when killed, and places a freeze debuff on himself, so he just persists for a while as a very, very annoying passive effect champion, because, if you're under a freeze debuff, you take less damage from enemy hits, and so he's got some utility to him. I will say, though, it's difficult for me to... I've got to go ahead and give my gold star to Acrizia. If I was 180 Void Shards or something without hitting a legendary and I was that unlucky, and I was ready to pull on Void Shards for a progressive chance of 15x for an Acrizia, oh man, I'm pulling. I'm just going for it, So if I had 70 Void Shards in the storage pool or something, again, just make sure you're saving enough stuff for Leo. Yeah. As for day 2 of this CVC, let's scroll on down just a little bit. Both events will last 24 hours. Okay, yep, so day 1 and day 2 of the CVC. So day 2 of the CVC, November 5th, planning to launch a progressive chance event. Once again, 15x chance. Our champions are as follows. Dune Lord Gregor. I can actually speak to this guy. He's not that good. I mean, he's fine. I think the thing about Gregor is that what Gregor really does is he brings a little bit of cooldown reset on ally skills, bit of 10 meter boost. He can activate an instant turn effect on the ally champion on your team with the highest crit damage, which is, not bad. But I feel like, Gregor, all he really does is take a team of barbarian champions and make them all a little bit better. He's never actually the headline champion of the team. He's not the one making the big difference in the team. He's only as good as the allies that you are putting in the team with him, because on his own, his kit and his own ability effects and stuff don't do a massive amount, right? He applies some shielding, he gives some 10 meter boost, he brings some, increased attack buffs, but he's a defense-based champion, so he's not there to do damage or anything. He's just a support through and through, so Dune Lord, not so great. I think realistic. I tell you what though, Esme is actually really, really good champion as well. I think if you're more early game and you're lacking block buffs champions for Hydra and stuff, Esme can actually be a very, very good pickup here. She can be very, very solid indeed. If you're a bit more PvP focused and your wave controllers and just want a big old 10 meter controller, but realistically, in Arena God, you'd be looking at Armand's, and Armand's is probably going to be the guy getting the gold badge here or the gold sticker, with Thor Fairhammer for me coming in as a close second. Thor is astoundingly good. Thor almost reminds me a little bit of, or rather Thor and Thorlin Foulbeard, the dwarf damage dealer Lego, of course, are very, very comparable in... They just hugely surprised me at how bloody good they were. Great Hydra damage dealers. Best in the game? No, of course not, But they're such jack of all trades, as well as being very, very good. B plus and maybe A tier Hydra damage dealers, because just the sheer amount of AoE damage that they do. that they're just lovely jubbly, right? I use Thor everywhere on my account when I first got him, you know, and so particularly if you're a earlier or like early mid-game account and you don't have like a great A tier Hydra damage dealer, that's just absolutely clapping cheeks. And you know, he also brings other tools to the game as well. With an AoE decreased speed debuff, he brings a bit of 10 meter control as well on his A1, which isn't nothing, you know. He can find his way into random spider. In fact, he's just a spider god. I'm pretty sure he can just solo his way through most stages. Of normal spider, just a little bit of help from a 10 meter controller. Just brings so much AoE damage. I do love a little bit of Thor Fairhammer action. A real formative champion for my account. Thor Fairhammer going to get the silver star. Our man's going to get the gold star from me from this second day again. Making sure that you save enough shards for the Leo event. I sound like a damn broken record. It's all every content creator's been talking about for like 6 weeks now. Save for the Leo event. Skip this, skip that, skip this, skip that, you know. Oh, God. What an absolute... I tell you what, when the Turtle events started out so good, everyone's so excited. The Donatello fusion was great. Like, Donatello proved to be a very, very powerful champion, and Michelangelo's awesome. And as these events have gone on, it's like, just drop the Leo event, Plarium. Like, what are we doing? I swear they're going to drop it on the 11th, and it's going to be the final 3 days. It's going to be the final 3 days of the Turtle events are going to be the Leonardo event, man. That's my prediction, anyways. As for the Void champions, Usaga, Tevold, I mean, all I see here, honestly, is Odin Fairfather. This guy is unbelievable. Odin is absolutely busted. Incredible champion. Very, very powerful stuff. I use him in, of course, basically all of my arena teams. And he's, like, I feel like you just can't lose in certain PvE content as well if you've got an Odin on your team. Yeah, it's the passive. It's the passive. Every 9 turns, okay, including enemy turns. That's what a lot of people overlook when they first read Odin's kit, okay? So just every 9 turns any champion takes, okay? And bear in mind, like, when a mythical champion switches form or, like, transforms or something, that's an extra turn, you know? That's like 2 turns right there. So place a block damage buff on Odin for 1 turn and apply the buff spread effect, taking all buffs on Odin and placing them on all allies. Dude, it's nuts. The amount of arena games that I've won that I had absolutely no right to win because there's no obvious, like, turn counter that appears Odin's head, over Odin's head or whatever, that tells your opponent when this thing is going to trigger, and, like, your team just becomes low-key immortal or very, very hard to kill off for your enemy in things like arena. It's nuts, right? He can just win games on his own. He brings a speed aura 40% in arena battles. Now, it's only for Void allies, but Arbiter is a great 10 meter controller still. If you've got, like, even just 1 or 2 other great Void champions on your account that you could hypothetically bring into arena, this is an ungodly aura that just demands that your opponent bans the Odin every time, or just has, like, a horrible time. But then they've got to let the Arbiter through, you know, so put your opponent in, like, this huge conundrum. Even if your opponent's able to kill anything with Odin on the team, by the way, he deals an enemy max HP smack on his A3 and a 310 cooldown. Before attacking, steal all buffs from the target, okay? So huge buff strip, getting through unkillable, block damage, all of that. And then just smack. That's it. You just delete something with this skill, and if you kill anybody with this skill, which you probably will, with just like a crit damage amulet, you know, you don't need to build much damage in your Odin for this to kill things. It revives a random dead ally with 50% HP and 50% damage. So he's insane, dude. And this isn't even accounting for his buff strip, decreased defense, and stun that he brings on the A2 as well, with just ungodly control. Great champion. The bait is strong for this CVC. It really is, man. But again, we are running out of time for Plarium to just drop this Leonardo event already, you know? There's people already speculating at this point, like, oh my god, what if after all this time, like, they make it just a random deck of fate that requires soul stones and shards aren't even required, and we've all been saving all of our shards all this time for a Leonardo Heroes Path, and it ends up being a soul stone event, you know? Frankly, I don't see that as being likely at all. I think it's more likely that this event is going to set us back shards. I think it's almost definitely going to be the most efficient thing to pull is probably going to be sacred shards. During a Heroes Path event, I think it's going to be shards. I think that that's correct. I think that's going to be predictable. I think it's probably going to be, I'm going to call it right now, I think this Leonardo Heroes Path event is going to be the most expensive Heroes Path event we've ever seen, if you're looking to get your hands on the champion and the soul. I think we're talking potentially like 50 sacred shards to get both. Call me an absolute mad lad, Call me insane. I think Plarium are going to go on an absolute warpath with this event. I think that they know how many people have been saving and holding for this, and they have the metrics for, how many people pulled for a certain shard event in the past and how many people are pulling for Deck of Fates and stuff like that. So they have a pretty good idea how many people are saving for this Leo Path event. And so the more people that are saving, the more expensive they can afford to make the Leo event, But there you go, man. That's the shard bait that's on the horizon for this CVC. Hold firm, hold steady, again, unless you've got an abundance of shards and you're very, very close to shard mercy on your account, man. Thanks for stopping by. Let me know what you guys are planning on doing down below in the comments. Thanks for watching. Hope you all enjoyed all that good stuff. And of course, if you're looking to start off a new raid account, make sure to get that done right now by using the beginner promo link that's down below this video at the top of the description box. And I am going to catch all of you guys just a tad bit later. I hope. It would be great if you stuck around anyway.